Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Well, what can I say? If it's not one thing, then it's definitely another. Have you ever bought a fridge and then the connector bursts because of the water pressure and floods your whole house?
Yep, no more fridges. From now on, it's Uber Eats all the way. Not like you like to cook anyway.
Yikes, what a week. Anyway, today I want to speak about something that was recommended under that post I made. How to survive this bloodbath. Ready? Let's go! I won't go into detail of what is going on in the market because I've already made a ton of videos on that subject. Instead, let's talk about how to make money,
Or at least not lose money.
in this craziness. Number one, invest into a good fuel card. A good fuel card will be your best friend at this point. With the fuel prices going up day by day, you need something to give you those discounts. I personally use the RTS fuel card, which I have mentioned multiple times in other videos. And the two main reasons for this is because number one, the discounts are pretty good, especially in certain areas. And number two, they cover a wide range of fuel stops. Number two, get the Fuel Book app. Now, Fuel Book shows you the fuel prices on the way, and the best part, this app is completely free. And the thing is, no matter how good of a fuel card you have, it won't cover every single location. Now, I have found that in certain areas, it's actually cheaper to refuel without a fuel card than at a discounted location. Does it take more time to search and compare fuel prices this way? Yes, absolutely, but it's worth it. So I really highly recommend that you download this app. Again, it's free and it's just a good backup to have. Number three, know the market. Of course, I'm talking about the load market, but I'm also referring to the fuel market here. Now, let me show you a quick map so you know what I'm talking about. Well, as you can see from this map, the cheapest fuel is in the Midwest area. The bluer the area or the darker blue the area, the better the fuel prices. And the most expensive fuel is on the West Coast and the East Coast right here. And I'll be very frank, it does not pay to go and run through a state like California. Last year, for example, you could run interstate loads in California and make a ton of money, like something from San Diego to Sacramento, from Sacramento somewhere to San Bernardino, and so on. This time around, the loads simply don't pay enough to cover the crazy fuel costs in California. As you can see, the average fuel price here is over $6. It's insane. Now, in terms of the load market, it's getting somewhat bearable in the southern states as well as the Midwest. So if you're running through states like Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Georgia, even Florida at this point, you should be more or less okay. To top it all off, as you have seen from the map I just showed you with the fuel prices in those areas are quite a bit lower than in the West Coast, for example, or the East Coast. So with the load rates being higher in those states and the fuel costs being lower, your potential for profit increases. Now, to prove my point in terms of loads, let me show you a quick peek into our numbers for our dry van. Okay guys, I hope you can see the board, so let's go through these numbers. So we have the from state to state, the deadhead miles, the loaded miles, the rate, and the total rate per mile. I hope you guys can see this. Anyway, so let's go through these numbers. The one thing you will see, the highest rate here is this one right here, from California to Washington. So something you will see in this video is that I mentioned that when you are in an okay state and there is a load to a really crappy state, it pays to go there. And this is what you see here. Washington is pretty bad. So this is the highest rate that we booked. Then we have a Washington to Washington load. This is because we got stuck and we did not know what to do. Now remember, this is a team truck. So there's team drivers. And as a team, driving 174 loaded miles is kind of awful. So there we go. And then we had to grab a load to Colorado because, again, there was nothing coming out of Washington and it's kind of grasping at straws. Now, if you look through this, here you will see we delivered from Colorado to Utah and then we had to deadhead 659 miles to California to grab the next load because Utah is dead. As beautiful as it is dead right now. This load right here This is called Miranda was sleeping. Miranda was tired and did not even pay attention to anything, and therefore this crappy load. This is what happens when I'm extremely exhausted. This was not supposed to happen. Now, from here on out, I became extremely conscious where I'm sending the team. So from here on out, you will see $2.48, $2.98, $2.39, $2.52. And the best part, as soon as we got unloaded, we grabbed the next load. No wait time, no crazy deadheads. And this is what you have to do. Just run in the southern states. It will pay to do so. Plus, the fuel is cheaper. Number 4, do not give in to temptation, my friends. Many times you will see higher paying loads to crappy states. So if you're in Dallas, Texas, and see a load posted for $4,000 to Utah, which is a 2-day load, do not take it, no matter how tempting it may be. There is nothing coming out of states like Utah, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, and even Northern California. And the likelihood of you getting stuck in those states is pretty high. So yeah, on one hand, you grab that $4,000 load in 2 days to Utah. On the other hand, you will most likely get stuck in Utah or have to deadhead out and spend money on fuel because you're accruing those deadhead miles. Number 5, get ready to get uncomfortable. I always mention this and I'll continue repeating it. Do not take that 5-day load paying $6,000. It's much better to take a 1-day load that picks up today and delivers tomorrow and pays you $1,400 to $1,500, or a 2-day load that pays you $3,000 or more. First of all, you will end up making more money than taking one long $6,000 load. Second, you will be able to stay in those areas I mentioned, like Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, when you run those short loads. Is it less comfortable to run short loads? Yes, absolutely. Now, if you have a reefer, you will be completely exhausted. But this is where you have to decide what your priorities are. Is your priority comfort, or is your priority making more money?
That was kind of harsh. I don't really like you right now.
Harsh, but true. Number 6, cut the deadhead miles as much as humanly possible. Every mile you run will cost you, obviously. Now, last year, I was pretty well known for grabbing 1-day loads to Colorado, paying something like $3,000 or $4,000 in 1 day, just because of the fact that there were no trucks willing to go to Colorado. And then we would deadhead back around 500 miles to Salt Lake City, Utah, because it was a good market. Unfortunately, this is something you can no longer do, or you can no longer afford to do because of the fuel prices. So it's better to minimize that deadhead by staying in those good areas I mentioned.
Okay, would you stop speaking out of your backside? There are some loads that are worth the deadhead.
Very rarely, but yes, it does happen. But this brings me to my next point. Number 7, know your cost per mile. This is so important, and this is why I'm going to be releasing a video in the next couple of days on how to calculate your cost per mile using Airtable. Now, there are several different ways to look at this calculation. Either you take all your costs for 1 month and then just calculate your total cost per mile, or you can break it down. What I like to do in this market is to see the average fuel cost per mile. That way I can make better decisions when booking loads. I know exactly what I'm going to be making when I book a load. Number 8, run lighter loads.
Yeah, guys, why don't you go ahead and be picky in a market that does not have loads? Oh, look, it's a $3 per mile load. But oh no, it is so heavy I cannot possibly take it. Miranda, you're an idiot.
Again, this is a case-by-case basis, but the best rule of thumb is to try to run lighter loads. Why? Because the heavier your truck is, the more fuel your truck consumes, and therefore your fuel expenses increase. Now, of course, you have to also take into consideration what kind of load rate you're getting and what is your cost per mile, and then make a decision. Number 9, if you can dispatch yourself, just do it. Dispatchers today take anywhere between 5 and 10% of the load. While there are many dispatchers out there that can really help you with your business by grabbing the highest paying loads, I say if you can do it yourself, just cut out the dispatcher and save yourself some money.
Just wait, the dispatchers who see this video are going to kill you in the comments. I'm getting some popcorn.
The rationale is really simple. There are not many ways to cut costs in this industry. I mean, you can't choose not to refuel, and you can't choose not to maintain your truck. But dispatching is one cost that you can eliminate, at least in this market. That being said, I only recommend doing this if you know how to dispatch yourself and grab good loads. If you're hiring a dispatcher for convenience purposes only, cut the cost for now. Number 10, be mindful of what kind of equipment you're getting. If you're in the process of getting a truck and trailer, I highly recommend that you invest your money in newer equipment with less miles. This will definitely cut down your maintenance and repair costs, and those can be really huge. Remember, the fresher the equipment, the less it will cost you in repairs. Now, the second point I want to make is about the process of getting a truck. Truck prices are obviously extremely high right now, and cashing out $150,000 is, well, yeah. So if you're choosing between financing a truck and leasing or renting a truck, I would say it's better to finance it. This is because when you're leasing or renting a truck, you're literally throwing money down the toilet. The truck isn't yours and you're just paying to use someone else's truck. Now, when you finance a truck or trailer, the equipment is yours and you're investing into it every single month. And if everything goes to crap, you can just sell your asset and be done with it.
Well, can you sell it if it's not paid off?
Yes, absolutely. You sell it and get the price minus the amount you owe on the truck. I know that times are tough, but I'm still of the opinion that this is a wonderful industry where money can be made. The market flows up and down, crap happens, but the good news is that our economy is built on this industry. Just remember, if you bought it, a truck brought it.
Oh wow, aren't you original today?
The market will get better eventually. We just have to be smart about our operations and write it out. I hope you guys found this video helpful, and I'll see you all in the next video.